All right, so for problem number one, we're given the velocity, and here's where you see where calculator is going to be helpful because this is not a pretty looking problem. Not like the ones we saw earlier, it was just a cubic or quadratic. So we're given the velocity from 0 to 6. We want to find the total distance traveled between t equals 0 and 6. So does anybody remember the formula for total distance? All right, well, more than just absolute value of velocity. The definite integral, right, from a to b of the absolute value of velocity. So this one really don't need a whole lot for our calculator. If this were the position, if we were given the position function, then we'd have to do the derivative, and we wouldn't be able to do the derivative very nice. I mean, we could, but it wouldn't be pretty. That would be a good opportunity to just use that math 8 to do the derivative of that and put it in the absolute value. But in this case, it's a little bit simpler than that. We can go ahead and do that in our calculator. What I like to do sometimes is just go ahead and put our velocity of the equation in for y1. Then I can just use y1 from then on out and not have to type it over and over again. And we may have to graph it and do some other things with it in these upcoming steps. So I'm just going to put this in for y1. We have 5x times e to the x times cosine of x. So I don't really need to look at the graph for this one right now. But what I want to do is take the definite integral of this from 0 to 6. So I'm going to do math 9. And we're going from 0 to 6. And I'm just going to use y sub 1. So vars, y vars, y sub 1. And I'm doing this in terms of x. I did not, thank you. Alright, so going back here, I'm going to insert, because I forgot to do this, math, and then the absolute value. It's under math, NUM, the numbers, enter, and I'm going to have to put the y sub 1 back in there. Thank you. It's been a long day. Oh, yeah, it's been a long time. All right, so while we're waiting for the calculator, what I did end up getting that first time then is just the displacement. All right, remember just definite integral of the velocity from a to b is the displacement, the change in position from 0 to 6. But here, when we do the absolute value, we get the total distance traveled, because that doesn't take into account the negatives. All right. So we get 6,481.355. All right, so that's a pretty basic one. Questions on that one?